on the phone, our first guest here in our brand new set. How exciting is this? Adi, are you there?
I am here, Ariel. Congratulations on the new setup. Well deserved, my friend.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So, Adi, we have a lot to talk about. And let's start here. Are you surprised that it went as smoothly as it did? Are you surprised that, this is actually a done deal?
No, I think when you believe in something and you work hard towards that goal, I don't think you're necessarily surprised. I think there's always a sense of relief and there's always a sense of excitement, but I'm not surprised. It's something that we believed in and something that I felt that made sense for all parties, and I'm just happy that we got there as fast as we did, and credit goes to all parties that were involved in this deal, and really looking forward to August 26th.
When I spoke to Conor in January in England, he was kind of saying, all right, if I'm being honest, end of the year, early next year. Here we are, mid-year, August. Did you originally think that was a more realistic time frame? And did it kind of go quicker than you thought? Maybe not surprised that it eventually got done, but that it actually moved along as quickly as it did.
Yeah, I think I was pleased to see that it moved along as quick as it did. I think that's a better characterization of how it all went down. I definitely was surprised that we went with the earliest date of all the different dates that we were discussing. But nonetheless, I think it just the way everything played out, and with all the other the other events that were trying to compete with us, and I think this just made the most sense. And I think the fans are in for a great treat sooner than they had expected even. So I think everybody wins with this date of August 26th.
Were you pushing for September, October? Like was this part of you guys having to say, okay, fine, we'll take the August date for various reasons? Like was that a concession that you had to make?
I think everybody wanted September initially, but we had an August date and we had an October date as well. So I think again, once everything played out, we just felt that August was a better date, and it's something that we listened to. The other side, wanted this date, and I think it was a suggestion that was made by them, and I think and we thought it was a good suggestion given kind of all the other moving parts, and here we are. Now we're getting ready to go out there and make history on August 26th.
Details like 154 pounds and 12 rounds, things like that. The size of the box. By the way, do you know what the size of the ring is going to be?
I believe it's 20 by 20.
Okay.
I don't expect it to be any smaller.
Were these sticking points at all, or did that go rather seamlessly as well?
No, it went rather seamlessly.
Wow.
I think both guys are ready to get in there and compete, and so that was exciting, kind of to see that wasn't necessarily ever going to be an issue, which is good, But I think for the most part, I think. It really didn't matter where that was going to end up at. I think that both guys kind of knew that there was going to be a range, and at the end of the day, I think this is just going to make it the best competition possible, and really create as even as a playing field as you can, and which in turn just creates for better competition that the fans can enjoy.
Does Conor get pay-per-view points?
Conor's well taken care of.
So is it true that there's a confidentiality? Like, can you tell us, will he make 9 figures?
Conor's well taken care of.
This will be the most that he'll ever make in a fight. Is that at least fair to say?
Listen, I think that's fair to say. I think that, Dana said some comments about what he expects both guys to make. I think those are fair comments, and I think everybody's happy. Everybody's going to be very happy in this situation. So,
what about the idea of having him fight August 26th so that he can come back and fight at the end of the year? Dana was saying he feels really good about that. Is that in line with what you guys are planning as well, to have him come back and do an actual MMA fight? Because as you've probably heard, people are afraid he makes all this money and never comes back to the UFC.
Conor is a very ambitious young man. That's a key word, key two words, young man, right? And he has a lot more that he wants to accomplish athletically and as a businessman. So he definitely wants to fight again in MMA. And you know, if all things go well and he feels good, then it could potentially happen at the end of the year. There's no guarantees, but it's definitely within his plans to come back and compete again in the UFC.
Do you know any information as of right now as far as the promotion? You know, what fans expect? You know, is it going to be like a world tour type of thing? Is it going to be a press conference? Is there going to be minimal promotion, kind of like Pacquiao Mayweather? What could you tell us? Because a lot wasn't said or even asked, to be quite honest, on the conference call on Wednesday.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of that's being planned. I think a lot of that's still kind of taking shape, and hoping to kind of finalize that this week. And I'm sure Mr. Ellerby and Mr. Espinoza will be speaking on some of that as well. I see that they're on your show as well today.
But note who was first, Audie. Note who came on first to set the table, all right?
Well, I appreciate that. It's 1:30 a.m. out here in China.
I know.
So it's definitely past my bedtime, so to speak, but I couldn't miss this inaugural show.
Yes.
And the honor that you bestowed upon me to be the leadoff batter, so to speak, of the show. So I appreciate that.
This is a very big deal, and I appreciate you recognizing that. What do you say to the people, Audie, who say that this is just a money grab, it's a sham, he has no chance, it's a disgrace, why is he doing this, why is the UFC letting him do this? What is the response to this criticism?
Hi, hater. Same people that said it wasn't going to happen, you know. So you can't pay attention to all that negativity. If you paid attention to all the people that told you can't, then you know you're not going to be living out your dreams. And so my thing to them is, okay, tune in and watch, and we'll see. And so I think everybody that's doubting him, that's a mistake. This is a young man that knows how to throw them hands, has all the skills that he needs to go in there and compete at the highest level. So on August 26th, I'm confident he's going to go out there and shock the world.
Did Lorenzo Fertitta have anything to do with making this fight?
I think Lorenzo Fertitta has been instrumental in a lot of different ways as it relates to Conor's career. And yes, he was very instrumental in putting all us together to really get everybody to talk and get on the same page when you know, I think everyone started to see that this was a real viable business proposition. So you know, I have a lot of respect for Lorenzo, and I know he's you know, exited, but nonetheless, I think this is still something that he's very passionate about and cares a lot about the sport, and cares a lot about the UFC, and cares a lot about Conor. So I think it was really special for me to see that he was interested enough to try to at least put all parties together so we could do some good business.
I made the point at the beginning of the show that one of Conor's greatest attributes is that he has impeccable timing. He had great timing as he was coming up to almost foresee the fact that Lorenzo was about to sell. So Lorenzo kept giving him more rope to do whatever he wants. And then when the new owners come in, they give him rope to headline MSG and go for the second belt, all that and then some. But do you also think that his timing was impeccable in the sense that 2017 has been a bit of a down year thus far for the UFC, and so they have to kind of make this fight? In the past, 2 years ago, they're doing very well. They don't do this fight. They have been presented with this idea in the past with Anderson and Roy, etc. Nothing as big as this one, but they've always been sort of steadfast in their belief that they are not going to co-promote or loan out talent. But because they sort of, you know, need to get things going monetarily, loan, debt, all that stuff, and then some, they kind of had to relent. Do you feel like that's part of the reason why this is happening?
Yeah, you know, I don't know. I think more so when you see the public interest in this fight, and you see kind of the reaction from the public. I mean, that's an indicator. That's an economic indicator. Does that play into all the other elements that you pointed out? I don't know. That's something that they know. That's their business. I do know that they're smart businessmen. So if the indicators are all pointing towards a mega event that they could be a part of, you know, I think they just did smart business. They just did good business. So I think it was more so the public interest, the growth in public interest, and the serious interest that Floyd had, as well as Conor, that made it all go right. I think that's why we're now heading into what arguably could be the biggest fight in combat sports history, August 26th, 2017.
Can you go on the record? What do you think it does pay-per-view wise?
Man, I've been wrong in the past.
Yes.
I've undershot, I've overshot, so I really don't know. But I mean, I think if you look at all the different experts, they're pegging it to the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight, and if it beats that, then I think we've done a great job.
Wow. I mean, do you really believe that it does over 4 million?
I'll tell you one thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been in Asia now for the last week. The interest is huge, whether I was in Singapore, I was in Malaysia, now I'm in China. I mean, it's huge. This is real, and so this is a real global event, and I just feel like you have two strong personalities, two strong brands, in Conor and Floyd, and then you have the people, the naysayers, and I think that even those people are going to tune in just to see, either they are naysayers about the event, either they dislike Conor, they dislike Floyd, but nonetheless, I think that's good. I think let them tune in and find out for themselves.
Who's the A side?
I mean, I think we're the A side, and I know Floyd has said that he feels he's the A side. Either way, I think you have two marquee guys, and I don't think you have, even the Floyd Manny fight. That was not only anticlimactic, but I don't think Manny brought as much as Floyd in that fight. Whereas in this fight, it's a whole other character that he's facing, right? So I think that just creates for much more powerful synergies in this dance.
Who's walking out second, though?
I don't have those details.
Okay, was that a sticking point?
I don't think so. It was never a point for us. So
I say, who gives a crap? He walked out first when he fought Eddie Alvarez. Screw it. Just take the money, fight, win, and get out of there.
Yeah, it was never an issue for us.
All right.
I'll tell you that.
Could you tell us what, in hindsight, was the biggest sticking point? Like, was there something that you just felt like, we may not get over this, and then you eventually did? Something with the UFC,
any
maybe?
Negotiation, you're gonna have back and forth in any negotiation, So ultimately, you can't get stuck in certain situations and not try to work through them, So I think for the most part, you had two professional parties in us in the UFC, and we were able to work through a lot of issues. And hats off to Dana and Hunter Campbell and their team over there. We really rolled our sleeves up and got to work, and we got something done that a lot of people didn't think we were going to get done. I think Dana at one point said that we couldn't get done. He said he was going to be a starter for the New England Patriots before we get the deal done.
For the record, he said backup, but as equally absurd.
To backup. Okay. Yeah. Well, shoot, hey, he may be getting his contract soon. That's a good thing.
So with that said, would you say that this is the greatest accomplishment of your professional career thus far, getting this fight done in a short amount of time when it seemed like everyone was doubting you?
I mean, of course, I think it's one of the definitely a milestone in my career. I think it's going to be a milestone in Conor's career, but neither of us feel we're done at all. So we just got to keep our head down, keep grinding, keep working hard, and keep shocking the world. How
does it work from a sponsorship standpoint? Like, does he wear Reebok here? Does he get to do his own thing? How does that work?
Well, we let a lot of our deals lapse, and so there's a lot of open categories that we've been negotiating with different brands, including Reebok.
Oh, snap. So he's a free agent?
We'll see how that all plays out.
Is he a free agent as far as...
He's currently a free agent as it relates to athletic apparel, yes.
What?
We're still in discussions with Reebok as well as other brands. So we'll see how that all shakes out.
Can he wear whatever he wants? Like if he signs, I'm just throwing it out there, with Nike, can he wear Nike for this fight?
If he signed with Nike, he could wear Nike for this fight. That's accurate. Yeah.
That isn't so. He is now. I can't even imagine the offers that are coming your way now for this. He's a free agent for this. That might be your greatest coup of them all.
it's definitely a great opportunity for Conor and any brands that we decide to align with.
Wow, I love how subdued you are. Maybe because it's 1:30 a.m. over there, 1:40.
Probably.
Now I have to ask this.
Thanks, kicking in.
I mean, you also represent a lot of great fighters, and Tony Ferguson is one of them. How are you handling that situation? What does Conor now actually getting this fight mean for him? Do you have any idea?
I think for Tony, he's just waiting for that opportunity. I mean, Khabib was supposed to be that opportunity, didn't happen. Nate then there was talk it was going to be Nate, and apparently UFC couldn't get him to sign off. Now I think the thought is Khabib's supposed to be back after Ramadan. But there's no confirmation, so we're still kind of waiting on that. Part of me thinks that, too, they were hoping that the Eddie Alvarez-Dustin Poirier fight ended in a different way, that they created another contender, but that went down the way it went down, and they're rematching and rerunning that one back. So I think for him it's just a unique situation where, Tony would have fought anybody they put in front of him if he was going to be paid the same, and if they can't pay him unless it's an interim or title fight, then that's what he wants. So it's been his position the entire time, and he hasn't changed that. So I think for him, it's really just about figuring out who's going to really step up, and he really wants it to be sooner rather than later. So. My assumption is if Nate doesn't necessarily sign on, then it's going to be Khabib, come this fall. But we'll see. With no confirmation yet, but we'll see. Obviously you have some other huge fights coming up. I got Lorenzo Larkin fighting for the Bellator welterweight title next weekend. I'm going to get to fly home for a day and then off to New York to watch him make his Bellator debut and hopefully bring home some gold. That's an exciting fight for me to go and see kind of Lorenz go and do his thing for a new promotion, and then one of our younger fighters, James Gallagher, is also fighting on that.
Yes.
That card as well. So there's also a lot of other forthcoming fights. Gunnar Nelson and Charlie Ward are fighting in Scotland, and you got Chris Weidman fighting in Long Island, and so
killing it.
We really have some fun forthcoming events for a lot of our clients. So exciting times ahead.
And I would be remiss if I don't congratulate you on getting the Megan Anderson deal done. It was announced this morning, our time, that she is fighting Chris Cyborg for the now vacated title at UFC 214, Anaheim, California. This is insane. How difficult was it to get her out of the Invicta deal to sign now with the UFC?
Well, I think a lot of other moving parts kind of played to our advantage. We thought that was a good matchup, and we were pitching the UFC. And I don't think they necessarily saw it initially, but given kind of what happened with Jermaine and the fact that really I don't think they had anybody willing to step up to fight Chris. Megan wanted it. Megan is the Invicta 145 champ. Cyborg was the Invicta 145 champ. So it only made sense for them to kind of meet up and go at it. I mean, Cyborg's an amazing fighter. Megan's young. She has a lot of potential, a lot of upside. And I think that she's going to just really take advantage of this opportunity. And I'm excited because it's in our backyard in Anaheim. So get to see her not only UFC debut, but fight for a title. So I'm hoping that we could add another strap to the team. Before
I let you go and finally go to bed, tuck yourself in, all that stuff, I'm putting you on the record here because everyone's asking me. Will we talk to Conor McGregor before this fight? The world wants to know. They want, we've been there from the beginning. Blueberries, not a pot to piss in. Let's not forget. I think we were with Conor before you were with Conor, if we're being honest here. Can you go on the record on this program, 8-year anniversary, new studio, that we will be speaking to the man before the fight? What do you have to say?
I know Conor respects you.
Okay.
So I think that it's definitely something that we could entertain. The man himself has to approve it.
Oh my gosh!
And right now, he's not talking to any media because
why?
He's really busy training. Well, he's just busy training, and then when he's on his days off, he's enjoying his time with his family. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him. He's right now locked and loaded. And then he has other businesses that he's focused on, including his own multimedia company. So
right.
The MacLife.com.
Sure, yes. If you're not Macking, I believe you are not stacking. Okay, can you give us an official prediction then? What is the official prediction?
Look, I think we're going to stop him. I think Conor's going to knock him out. But you got to tune in August 26th and find out yourself.
Well, I can't wait. This is so exciting. Congratulations on getting it done. Congratulations to you and the whole team for doing what a lot of, I know, managers in the business thought you couldn't get done. A lot of promoters, a lot of fans, a lot of media thought you couldn't get done. A major coup for you guys, a major feather in your cap. So enjoy it. Congrats. Enjoy the ride. And thanks for doing this so late over there in China where you are. I really appreciate it, Adi.